The first thing that I have to say about K-pop is that I was downloading the videos and audios to my 2025 award show, and I came across a short that said, K-pop groups that debuted recently, and it was about 2025 debuted groups, and the last group mentioned was HITGS, who debuted under H Entertainment, I think they're called now, formerly NB Entertainment, which is a company that debuted WOA and DXMON, and so someone in the comments, one of the first comments at the top, said something along the lines of, someone who knows HITGS, because they were shocked to see them in the short. I looked at that comment and thought, it's not that shocking that someone knows HITGS because they debuted under a company having a good budget and good quality music, and if you look at HITGS's songs you'll see that their MVs are not small budget cheap shot nugu. Even comparing some WOA song MVs, except for their debut song WOA, which is the only low-budget MV, and DXMON song MVs. I don't understand when people get shocked like this for other K-pop stans knowing lesser known and or nugu groups from better budgeted companies, because their budget is pretty good and good enough for K-pop stans to know them, because these groups are easier to find than other groups also debuting within the same year but not as much known. K-pop stans, as I've said before, will only stan groups, especially nugu ones, if they're not cheap K-pop, and HITGS isn't cheap. So what's so shocking in a group that pop up easily when searching them up because they're from a financially good company for their music? They come from a company debuting two other groups who are also known enough to come into the K-pop stans' eye view, because when K-pop stans check out new group debuts every year, most of them, even when looking at lesser known groups or fake nugu groups or actual nugu groups, it's still good budgeted ones, as I've already said before, so being shocked at someone knowing a group that will obviously come across your timeline without having to dig deep for them isn't shocking at all compared to other groups that you may accidentally stumble upon or find when looking for lesser known groups. People need to know the different levels when it comes to groups, because there are 4 levels of K-pop groups that exist. The first one being the popular groups, be it groups that had one hit or groups that are consistently popular. Then the second level are the nugus over-promoted by K-pop stans, the visible nugus that easily come into the K-pop stans' eye view, and the mid-tier groups, HITGS falls under here, then the third level being easy to find nugus whether good or cheap budgets, but not known to the K-pop stans enough like in level 2, and the fourth level are the extremely nugu nugus who are so nugu and hard to find that you'll need specific keywords to remember and write when searching them up, a link to their music saved onto a YouTube playlist or some other website, a download of their music stored somewhere on your device, or some sort of confirmation that the group exists, because these groups are real but may not have a K-pop wiki, K-popping profile or K-profiles for them. People need to understand that groups like these, HITGS that is, aren't invisible and will never be invisible even if they may not get super successful, because how can a group with MVs that look like a bigger label be invisible? Shouldn't it be common sense that a group whose company can push them out to K-pop stans more has more chances of noticeability by K-pop stans? You can also always tell a group's visibility by their music quality and budget. Some groups do put in the effort for a really nice looking MV and have good music too, but you can still tell the MV is nugu made compared to who can make the MV look like good money was put into it. This is the main reason why I say constantly about K-pop stans only stan groups that are nugu if they're not cheap, because the ones you'll mainly see on their so-called nugu videos are ones to already have a budget to begin with, except for maybe 1 to 2 actual nugus that make an appearance. And it's true, because tell me how many of these groups that K-pop stans promote as nugu constantly, that is Purple Kiss, Nature, BVNDIT, Pixie, GWSN and others etc. have had low quality and low budget MVs throughout their whole career. Maybe you could say Nature's Girls MV that looked a bit lower in the camera quality as compared to their other MVs, I thought the same too, but besides that, comparing all these groups' MVs show that there's not an ounce of small budget on them. So I don't get the shock of the commenter for HITGS, because the group also has had a good budget since their beginning and they won't lose their money anytime soon. The next thing that I have to say about K-pop is that I was watching Real Roman Vice and his new short, The Secret to Asian Last Names Part 2, and someone comments, bring Lee Hee-sung back, and I'm like, how is that relevant? I mean, sure, this guy on the short did mention Korean names and K-pop idols, BTS members, but the comment is still irrelevant. I commented this on the comment, not even the topic of the short. Please stop bringing up his name in places where his name shouldn't exist. Because your comment is just a comment. This channel cannot do anything. Please leave his name out of random shorts that have nothing to do with K-pop. He was not mentioned in the short, so neither should you bring his name up, and that was my whole comment. If you want to do something about Heesing, then spamming random irrelevant shorts by creators who do completely different things does nothing. Take it up with the company if you have to, and not some random channel who could see your comment, react to it, reply back, and then move on with their day, because what did they have to do with Heesing, and what can they do to help Heesing? Nothing, and your comment is just another echo repeating the same things over and over for no reason at all. Plus, this creator is making a video about Asian last names, so where does anywhere in the short give you permission to comment that? You guys truly don't care about these videos and shorts you comment these things on, and you're not here for the content of the creator. If you making this comment on this short wasn't the only place you made this type of comment and made it on other shorts and videos too, not sure if they actually did spam other places, that's why I said, if, then why? Is spamming different videos, shorts with comments about Heesing gonna bring him back? Do you think hype people are watching shorts like these and so they'll see your comment and feel sad and bring Heesing back? How delusional do you guys think you are, because y'all are at most just gonna get other fans who agree with you, which then turns into a big agree nothing burger. Also, didn't Heesing make the decision to leave so he can focus on solo works? If it is truly his own decision that he left ENHYPEN, then let him be, because if he wanted to stay in ENHYPEN he would stay. But he left, which means he had other focuses. I don't believe there's really anything that's serious with Heesing compared to maybe Manon and Cat's Eye, and also when Garam was removed from La Seraphim. IDK, I just don't feel that there was anything wrong here. People can feel sad for his departure, but it gets to a point where y'all need to let it go, because what's done is done. Nothing will change because Garam didn't come back even after her bullying accusations were proven false, and she's now doing her own thing. So, I'm not sure what spamming does other than you just wasting your time, battery, and hurting your fingers from the typing and copy pasting. It's giving obsessed more than just, I miss Heesing, bring him back. And if you did truly miss him, how is commenting on random videos and shorts about bringing Heesing back or about ENHYPEN being 7 etc. even caring? It's just disrespectful, even with the decision being Heesing's as it seems. So why are we out here trying to get him back into a group where he himself wanted to leave, as it was revealed? Y'all literally want him to go back to the place he chose to leave just because y'all think something is off and can't accept the fact that Heesing may have really made that decision. Y'all want him to go back to the place where he may have wanted to exit for a while now, who knows, just because y'all can't see things any other way to wanna support him further, and him going back to ENHYPEN may become like he's forced to stay and he'll grow unhappy. Let him do what he wants to do and support him for his future, because he's human and he should be allowed to make his own choices. Y'all are not seeing what he wants, but rather are selfish and only caring about yourself. You guys can't just accept the thought of an idol thinking for themselves because you wanna believe everything is foul play, and I hate it. If Heesing made the decision, then let him be. It's that simple. The next thing that I have to say about K-pop is that why do people always flock to wanna say things like, songs are getting shorter, for example, without wanting to question things? Why are there so many people on the bandwagon to wanna parrot these things further as if it's the only thing happening right now, and nothing else? Because whenever I see something like this, a new thing that ends up becoming the topic of complaints for K-pop stans, I'm always wanting to question things first and then further promote the truth of whether this actually does happen or not in K-pop. Or whether it happens but also other things happen too. Back to the short songs example where I say that songs are getting shorter but long songs exist a lot too, which I have done before by showing long songs of Nugu, unpopular K-pop artists, and also making a video on long songs by popular and known K-pop artists, which are 3 videos including songs minimum of 3 minutes 10 seconds going higher in length. I'm always wanting to question these things, but why don't others wanna do the same and only wanna talk about these things as if no solutions exist, when these K-pop stans refuse to look at the solutions and just wanna cry about K-pop when K-pop stans themselves refuse to open their eyes to see the full picture? It's just weird because people be talking about things like, songs are getting shorter, and have short song examples to give clearly naming the length. They'll seem to have all research in the world to show how songs are getting shorter and tell us why. It's like when they have to hate the fact that songs are getting shorter, they come prepared. But why can't they put that same effort in trying to find longer songs instead? People jump to writing the answer before looking at the question properly, and that's why they get it wrong. And that's the thing with K-pop stans, because anytime something new comes about to complain, they're already ready to jump on the bandwagon with others to cry and complain as if this thing is a big problem. They don't want to go hunting for solutions, which are definitely more likely to exist than there not being any solutions to begin with, which makes me wonder if K-pop stans are truly complaining about these things because it annoys them, if they're gonna be ready with their editors in hand, robot voice or human voiced scripts inputted, just to parrot the same complaints that others are also gonna say. I feel like maybe it's easier for people to just say things without checking to see if it's true. Going back to the short songs example, if someone says, songs are getting shorter, it's easier to say that if they have the evidence using some title tracks. But if they were to say, songs are getting shorter, but there are long songs too, it won't be much easier for them because they wouldn't know where to look for longer songs to prove their argument since they're more focused on complaining and never questioning things, and so they'd come up empty-handed with the evidence, at least that's what I think. People are so deeply buried in the complaints of it all that they never seem like they want any solutions to come about. It's always about, companies are making songs shorter, and talking about it made for TikTok virality, but never about the 1 to 2 or more songs on the album that just so happen to be long that doesn't feel like it's made to be catchy, go viral or some hook exists that gets fans singing. If you look at Baby Monster's new album Choom, the title track is 2 minutes 58 seconds and it's more likely to be brought up as an example for, songs are getting shorter, to prove that songs are getting shorter, than I Like It, a B-side literally on the same album, which is unlikely to be brought up as an example for, long songs exist too, which is 3 minutes 26 seconds and is long enough for fans who complain about short songs, and I'm sure of it. Because how many K-pop stans and K-tubers have you heard complain about short songs and how many have you heard provide solutions, new solutions that is from current K-pop, and not ones making a long songs video but it includes songs from older K-pop years. If you can name more people who complain and nobody really can come to your head who provides solutions to the complaining, then you know where people stand when it comes to complaining. It's just sad tbh how many people flock to talk about these issues, but it's just them spreading the complaint further instead of doing anything about it. Y'all complain about short songs and put so many short songs on a pedestal just to dogpile hate on them, but at the same time y'all be ignoring the long songs that exist, even more so ones that could be existing on the same album as the song you complain about being short. So let me ask you this. Do you guys really care about short songs? Or are you just here to complain because it's easier to just hate than to wanna end the topic once and for all with solutions? The next thing that I have to say about K-pop is that if an encore stage showcases poor vocal talent even when the idols are singing for fun, then what are we doing defending these idols? Saying it's for fun, isn't it? Because it's like we're justifying bad vocal talent. I'm sure some of these idols can't sing at all, and the just for fun factor shields them from any criticism. Remove the just for fun excuse and ask them to sing seriously, they'll still mess up. And yes, I can judge someone on an encore stage. Not because I want to hate on them, but because I need to know how well they sing. I can't know any other way in recent years, with the rise of lip sync, to know how these idols sing. If an idol cannot even hold a basic note during an encore stage, then they can't sing. Just because it's for fun doesn't mean they can't show off at least a little vocal talent. They're still there singing, even if it's meant to be enjoyment. But that's the problem. How can I check any other live stage? A lot of them are lip-synced or edited or fake. If there's a sure place I can know about an idol's vocals, then tell me. And I mean for popular idols and groups, because for Nugus I can look at places like Arirang Radio, which is live most of the time, but only has mainly Nugu groups and sometimes mid-tier groups on there. Encore stages being for fun doesn't mean they can't show some vocals at least. This is not karaoke night with friends. This is a job for them. When are we allowed to critique and judge their vocals without some fan trying to come at us for our critiquing and justify why they sound bad? If they've had good vocal training, even if they sing for fun, they can still sound good. Even when good vocalists aren't trying, they still end up showing good vocals. So I don't know how, for fun, justifies bad singing. If the idols were trained well before debuting under a company with all the resources in the world, they should at least be able to be a better singer, someone who can hold a note. And again, is it supposed to be fun when idols are supposed to perform for us? If they sound bad, then when are we supposed to critique them? Are we supposed to coddle idols every time because of some dumb excuse to defend their vocals? Maybe they shouldn't have debuted in the first place. Companies will bring anyone even if they're not talented, and we're not gonna sit here and just let it slide because there are others who had the chance but didn't make it through who must be more talented. The next thing that I have to say about K-pop is that IDK if I'm going crazy, but I feel like anything that gets viral in K-pop in relations to the music even if it's by accident, it's always artists with a good budget. 50/50 accidentally going viral for Cupid for example or years later Brave Girls going viral for Rollin', both these songs had great MVs and were well produced as music. Maybe I've just never seen it, but I've only noticed virality from good budget artists even if they're Nugu or come from a Nugu company. I mean sure, there have been some groups who have been noticed in a viral sense being from smaller budgeted Nugu labels like Solia for example, but they were mainly noticed for the fact that they disbanded 5 days after debut and not really about the one song they've released which is Dream. But yeah, it does feel like virality happens to only the music that sounds listenable to the ears even if not everyone vibes to it, because a bad song, that is cheap sounding or messy, won't push the artist further because if that low quality song does go viral, it'll be for the wrong reasons leading the group to get hated on and them further disbanding rather than giving the artist a chance to capitalize on their short fame to try and make their popularity remain consistent rather than a one lucky shot type of moment. K-pop stans love high quality, and we have seen before, I've mentioned this, artists like for example the girl group ICE getting hated on for their debut song MV being cheap or low quality. So how can a song go viral in that sense if it doesn't fit the budget that K-pop stans want? I've also talked about before, even in a previous take in this video, about how K-pop stans only check out Nugu groups if they're not cheap, so how can virality happen for an artist with an MV that's a shaky camera, bad lighting, cheap edits, or maybe even a good MV that was made well but the MV is just low budget despite the song potentially being well produced? If you look at K-pop, the most extremely Nugu artists release music and may barely reach 10,000 views on YouTube, but then we have groups who have decent visuals for the MV and or a good song and have chances of reaching 100,000 views and maybe passing that somehow reaching about 200,000 or 300,000 views. But then we have groups that somehow make it to 1 million views maybe because the company had the resources to promote the song, but then we have the obvious good resource artists who will reach 1 million views and pass that easily each time, but then we also have artists that reach between 10 to 15 million views, and beyond that are the ones who are popular fully. And this is just what I know, from what I've seen for knowing and checking out almost every K-pop song that comes my way regardless of views, noticeability and quality since I check out everything. Songs that end up going viral come from artists who may already be in the category of groups who get 1 million views easily or passing it, going back to 50/50, or even groups between 10 to 15 million views, think Weekly and After School for example, because even they have passed 15 million views with some of their songs on YouTube. I don't think you could name me a single artist with a mega viral song where that song is their most popular one and the others are extremely Nugu, because maybe there might be 1 to 2 songs below 1 million views, but in general their minimum views for a song would be 1 million and above. While I also do believe that virality is random, it's also only random for artists who are again resource-backed and can make comebacks if they went viral to capitalize on the fame, and that's what I see because sometimes a song will go viral and it's not even that outstanding. Like going back to 50/50, their song went viral by accident and if you listen to the song, it's very simplistic and nothing really interesting even as a more chill song, and to me realistically it falls under yawn category, listening to a song and yawning because it cannot keep your interest. To me, I don't think virality is necessary for artists because as I talked about virality being mainly gotten by bigger budgeted artists, if we take a look at Weekly, they've had, according to the website Korean Sales TWT. Blogspot.com, a total of 320,555 Korean sales since their debut till their last comeback, meaning that despite having only one viral song, After School, their albums after that still managed to sell good enough for them to have 320,000 plus sales and be considered a mid-tier group past Nugudom. So I feel like that even if After School wasn't viral or never existed, they would have still done decent enough in terms of sales, that's what I'd like to think. Virality to someone like Weekly is great for them but I wouldn't see it as anything much if their budget originally got them some exposure, if their total sales up until disbandment were pretty good. Virality to me would only work on someone extremely Nugu with a low budget if that point ever arises, but never to someone who may go viral but already has the budget to help in their careers without needing the virality. The next thing that I have to say about K-pop is that I was watching a short that was titled, Hated Comebacks as of this year, and it made me wonder if people even have their own honest opinions because half of the comments were just saying, I don't understand the hate, like they're here to defend the song from tasteless stans. Also, by the way, the short was just a compilation of what other people think, and not songs that the creator who made the short hates. Can't you guys just come out of your fan bubble of having to defend songs because of your faves or because you think certain groups have no skips and share your own thoughts honestly? We don't need people who force themselves to like songs just so they can pretend their faves release hit after hit. What are you even listening to with the music of K-pop groups if you're out here trying to protect songs from criticism? Are you truly fans of groups if you're forced in your support for them? Newsflash, because not everyone in the world who are musicians release hits all the time and tastes exist. If you're out here trying to defend these types of songs with your comments like this, do you actually enjoy the song to say that? Because for example Le Seraphim's Celebrate and Illit's It's Me were added as some of the songs mentioned in the short, the Hated Comebacks as of this year short, so you commenting, I don't understand the hate, it would mean that you love Celebrate and It's Me as songs and therefore you love loud rave-like music, which means you'll go all out at a rave, right? You're not just defending the song because the groups are your faves, right? It's just because since your taste is so open that you like every K-pop song to ever release, right? You love the flute sound and sticker, the hip hip hooray of Stray Kids Ceremony, every DD You Do 2.0 like song for example, right? I do wish that I was like you to like every song and hate nothing since I understand you, because I also have an open taste for music and love every genre of music and vocal type musician as long as they hit, but the only difference is that I actually dislike songs too when they're not for me. But in all seriousness, it's just frustrating that nobody can be honest in the comments, because in that moment, watching the short, I saw that I was the only one so far to share my honest opinions and actually agree with some of the songs that were added in the short, because I actually hate some of the songs added in the short. Again, the creator was just compiling a list, it wasn't their own thoughts. The next thing that I have to say about K-pop is that I watched a short that said, K-pop Japanese comebacks that were slept on, but how do we know these Japanese comebacks by K-pop groups are slept on? Maybe they're known more in Japan and amongst people listening and streaming Japanese music too. I don't think majority of K-pop stans truly care about Japanese music compared to K-pop or the English music that groups release, so maybe that's why the song feels slept on. And with this creator saying, slept on, it's vague because do you mean slept on by K-pop stans, by the overall listeners of all types of releases by K-pop groups English, K-pop, Japanese or any language that they do, or just by Japanese music listeners? Who is sleeping on the songs for you to say that? Because if you mean particularly just K-pop stans, then what K-pop stans are you looking at? Because a Japanese song may come off as slept on, but somewhere a group of people may be over talking about the song. Like for example when people call groups like Pixie Nugu, but aren't actually Pixie aren't Nugu with the amount of overpromoting they get from K-pop stans online. So it could be the same here, where you're just not looking at the right people. A song can definitely be slept on when it comes to Japanese music, but we have to also look at the song clearly to know if it's really slept on, because the song could be having its own fandom and we may never know, but here we call the song slept on, because we're not seeing it get the recognition we think it deserves. Remember this is an example, that we have Korean songs that are popular in Korea and people internationally might think the song is Nugu, unknown because the views aren't high. So slept on might be a word that should be carefully used, because we don't know true slept on, especially if a song for example has passed 1 million views and has between 1 million and 10 million views. The final thing that I have to say about K-pop is that I was watching a short that was talking about K-pop idols embracing cultures instead of mocking it. Arya from X-In, the Indian member was mentioned, and someone commented, finally someone talks about Arya, and another comment said, X-In mentioned alongside Pakistan, and I'm just wondering, why comment things like these? It's so annoying when sometimes people comment things like these and say, X group or X idol mentioned, because it's always related to a mid-tier group or a group that is Nugu but known too much due to over-promoting by K-pop stans, and an idol who is from a country not often a scouting choice, India for example with Arya and Shreya Lenka and the members of MEPC, but also that country is known more in the world and has a bigger population, so more support to the group, I guess. Or maybe the idol is known for other reasons. To me, it's not shocking when these groups and idols are mentioned, because the groups have worked hard to get noticed, and so of course people talking about the group is because they're known enough to be noticed by K-pop stans, and the idol being mentioned is because the idol themselves are maybe ones who made the group popular, due to being from a specific country or was known prior to the group. Like, when someone gets happy at groups or idols being mentioned, especially when they're known a lot by people, similar to the point I made in the Japanese comeback take, do you even look to see how well the group or idol is known within the K-pop sphere as a whole, or do you just stumble across shorts, videos, etc., and watch them out of curiosity and then get shocked when an idol or group is mentioned as if the group has 10 fans overall, or the idol is from a less popular country? It's not shocking to me at all that y'all do this, because y'all be calling groups with overall 100,000 plus total Korean sales since their debut as Nugu and don't even see the existence of the term mid-tier. They don't seem to see what group or idol they say these things about, and then act like the group is some hidden gem only they know about. Newsflash, it's nothing great that you feel like nobody knows the artists or idol besides you, because even if you go to an extremely Nugu K-pop group MV, Abree's Easy Love for example, which isn't actually an MV but it's a lyric video instead, but still works for the point I wanna make. It has 5.2k views, but there are 8 different people, one including my comment, that commented. So even if you comment on it, there are still others who know the song from the views in the 8 people's comments. So even when acting like you may only know a song to get shocked when others also know it, it isn't the shock that you think it is. I know that I also get shocked when I see other people promote songs that are unknown Nugu that possibly I would only promote on my channel, but that is mainly because the K-pop stan may have been interested in the actual Nugu side of K-pop music far beyond the fake Nugu stanning, and then found the song through research or just finding for new songs. It's the fact that the K-pop stan was willing to check out the artist despite the artist not being in their view because the K-pop stan searched for the artist, and that's what I like and get shocked at. But you guys mainly get shocked at the fact that you wanna Nugu-fy everyone and act like nobody listens to the group when you should critically think and see reality, because even if a group actually comes off as Nugu with low streams and sales, which for some groups their sales are easily findable online, their visibility may be known to K-pop stans because K-pop stans be using them as the first choice in their Nugu-based videos, or over-promoting them online wanting them to get more fans, and the more people promoting them, despite them not selling a lot, leads them to have more visibility online amongst K-pop spaces, especially in the Nugu spaces, or realistically fake Nugu spaces. Looking at my favorite example of this, Pixie, realistically they're Nugus with their low sales, but I don't call them Nugus simply for the fact that they're always a choice and never left out of K-pop stans' Nugu-based videos, leading them to lose the Nugu title because many so-called Nugu fans already know them, and they come in the starter pack of K-pop stans who are interested in Nugus, but would never pass the top of the Nugu iceberg, the fake Nugu groups, making these K-pop stans fake Nugu stans. So yeah, people need to stop acting shocked for certain groups and idols and see how much they're being talked about online, because in certain spaces they're so known and you have to go search for them. Seeing a K-pop video short promote a group like EXIN doesn't mean, oh, they're promoting a group that should be more known, because EXIN is plenty known already, especially having Arya and also having Nova too, a Russian